The body of the Mercedes ML W164 has practically no weak points. It is not afraid of corrosion, but only on condition that the car was not restored after an accident. And here, chrome elements do not tolerate the harsh realities of our winters and quickly become cloudy, after which they begin to bloom. When inspecting the car, be sure to check the tailgate. On most copies it is skewed. The screws holding the door hinges are destroyed. Also, there may be problems with the door locks, mechanism breakdown, failures in the keyless go software. If there is moisture in the trunk, the problem most likely lies in the worn lamp seals. If you do not pay attention for this for a long time, over time, problems will begin with the semi unit, since its electronic board is located in the right niche of the trunk lid. Most often, a 3.5-liter gasoline power unit is found on the secondary market. Operating experience has shown that the engine is generally reliable, but nevertheless, some shortcomings in it have been identified. As a rule, problems begin after the first 100,000 runs. The most common drawback is the wear of the charmed sprockets of the balance shaft. In the presence of a drawback, in most cases, the check engine error is displayed on the instrument panel. Also, a signal about the presence of a problem will be the dieselization of the motor, vibrations and metallic ringing when starting a cold engine. Another problem with characteristic symptoms is the stretching of the timing chain. This happens on a run of 150,000 kilometers, minus 3000 cu. It is this fact that makes many owners get rid of the car at the first alarm bells. Before buying, be sure to carry out a complete engine diagnostics. When performing repairs, it is advisable to immediately replace the chain damper, the magnets of the camshaft adjustment mechanism and the oil pump, so as not to pay twice for the removal and installation of the power unit. Often, owners of cars with a 5.5 engine, 388 horsepower, also face the same problems. However, in this case, removing the engine is not required to eliminate most of the shortcomings, which significantly reduce the cost of repairs. Closer to a run of 150,000 kilometers, many owners of the Mercedes ML W164 have to change the exhaust manifold due to problems with the vacuum rods of the adjustable dampers. On copies after 2007, this problem was eliminated. A signal about the presence of problems will be the walking speed at idle. All gasoline engines suffer from oil leakage, most often leaks appear on the plastic plugs of the cylinder head. Also, on cars with a mileage of more than 100,000 km, oil smudges can be found at the junction of the filter housing and the oil cooler heat exchanger due to a leaky seal. Owners of pre-styling cars often encountered such a problem as the hanging of the plastic swirl flaps of the intake manifold, which made it necessary to change the entire manifold. When using low-quality fuel, catalysts die prematurely. The problem is solved by replacing them with the flame arresters. The 5.0 engine proved to be the most reliable. Of its shortcomings, only high fuel consumption and a high transport tax can be noted, otherwise there are practically no complaints about it. The car uses two batteries, they usually last up 5 years. To replace them, you will have to pay almost $100 for every. Once every 100,000 kilometers, you have to change the starter solenoid relay. They ask for $40-70 for a replacement. On diesel engines, during long trips, there is a decrease in the life of the turbine. During normal operation, the turbine takes care of up to 300,000 kilometers. The main reason for premature wear of the part lies in not the best location, installed in the place where the temperature is highest. The cost of the turbine will surprise even wealthy ML owners, about $2,000. Also, the rapid appearance of soot on the exhaust manifold can be attributed to the common disadvantages of diesel engines, which eventually begins to fall off and can kill the turbine. Significant cost may also be required if the glow plugs are not replaced in time. The fact is that when a candle burns out, it is unlikely that it will be possible to unscrew it naturally, and in order to replace them, you will have to remove the engine head and drill out the burned candle. If extraneous vibrations appear on the car, you need to pay attention to the crankshaft pulley clutch, it may start to fail. Also, due to the large weight of the power units, it is quite often necessary to change the engine mounts. Diesel engines are equipped with the common rail system, which is an advantage and at the same time a disadvantage. The advantages include the efficiency of motors. The disadvantages are the sensitivity of the system to fuel quality. If there is no good gas stations in your area, you need to be prepared for frequent expensive repairs of injectors, high-pressure fuel pumps and the EGR valve. The Mercedes ML W164 is equipped only with the 7G-tronic automatic transmission. The automatic transmission has a number of problems, most often jerks when starting, accelerating and stopping. In most cases, flashing the transmission control unit helps to cope with this trouble. The valve body is not famous for its reliability either, its resource rarely exceeds 100,000 km. The main signal about the presence of a problem will be jerks during acceleration. If you do not contact the service in time, you will soon need to replace the clutch package. Replacing the valve body costs $1,500, but you can save money by buying a repair kit, in which case it will be possible to fix the problem for $500. By 150,000 kilometers of run, on most instances, the oil pump dies. If it is not replaced in time, then the ECM electronic control unit will fail due to high temperatures. All these defects, except for one, leaks in the cooling tubes of the machine, were eliminated after restyling. Among the shortcomings of the all-wheel drive system, problems with the front axle gearbox 100–150,000 km can be distinguished. The imminent death of the gearbox will be notified by vibration and hum. To fix the breakdown, you will have to pay $5,700. The front propeller shaft does not live much longer either. On a run of 120–170,000 km, depending on operation conditions, bearings begin to booze. Also, the soundtrack can also come from the outboard bearing, which dealers, as a rule, change in tandem with the cardan shaft. For non-officials, the bearing can be changed separately. With the active use of the all-wheel drive system, the transfer case chain is stretched to 100,000 km. The disease is accompanied by cracking and greening under stress. The Razdatka, like the automatic transmission, with proper operation does not cause serious problems up to 200–250,000 km. The Mercedes ML W164 is present on the market with two types of suspension: independent springs and air suspension. If we talk about which of two types of chassis to give preference to them in terms of reliability, the usual suspension will be preferable. In terms of comfort, pneumatic. In a spring suspension, most often you have to change the stabilizer struts about once every 60–70,000 km. After 50,000 km, ball bearings can be creaked, and after 20–30,000 km, they have to be changed. Once every 100–120,000 km, replacement is required. Shock absorbers, wheel bearings, and silent blocks of levers. They change as an assembly with levers. The rear suspension does not require intervention up to 150,000 km. Only shock absorbers can be an exception. Their resource rarely exceeds 130,000 km. Air suspension repairs will have to be done every 80–100,000 km. The cost of one original front pneumo cylinder is about $1,000. The rear is about $500. If in time you do not change worn-out air bellows, this will negatively affect the life of the compressor, the replacement of which costs $2–3,000. To check the condition of the pneuma, raise the car to the maximum level and leave it in this position for half an hour. The car should not lower by a single millimeter. Often, when driving on an uneven road, extraneous knocks come from the suspension. Check the fastening of the front pneumatic elements to the racks. Fasteners weaken over time and require a Benelli broach. The steering rack is generally reliable and can last up to 200,000 km without repairs, but there have been cases when it starts to flow at a range of 100–120,000 km. It is eliminated by replacing oil seals and seals. The weak points in the steering are: thrust go up to 90–110,000 km and the steering shaft cardan. Also, there is a complaint about the reliability of the power steering pump. When replacing the pump, it is recommended to change the tank as well, since the filter mesh quickly clogs in it. The brake system is reliable, but due to the considerable weight of the car, the brake pads wear out quite quickly, 30–35,000 km. The quality of finishing materials leaves an ambiguous impression. The plastic from which the central panel and other interior elements are made is of high quality of retains its original appearance for a long time. And here, the seat trim does not correspond to the class of the car. The fact is that the seats are made of eco leather, which cracks and begins to climb by 100,000 km. As for the electrics, over the years it begins to present unpleasant surprises, such as malfunctions in the climate control, failed electronic damper service, sound signal and standard audio system does not return discs. Elimination of even minor problems in electronics pleasure is not cheap. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.